I need to tell you something that changed how I shop forever. 8 months ago, I started noticing a pattern. Products I had been buying for years were just gone. No announcement, no warning, just an empty shelf and a different SKU in its place. So I started making calls, talking to people who move products from manufacturers to stores, category managers, distribution coordinators, shelf reset specialists. And what they told me is this: right now, in spring of this year, there are 13 specific products sitting on grocery shelves that are either being officially discontinued by May or facing supply cuts so severe that finding them at today's prices will feel lucky 6 months from now. Some of these are small, your favorite cookie getting quietly axed. Others are bigger, global supply chains under pressure that is not going away in one season. All 13 are real. All 13 are confirmed. And most people will miss every single one of them. Hit subscribe right now because I update this list the moment I verify a new discontinuation. By the time this hits mainstream news, these products are already gone. Here is what is actually disappearing this spring. Item number one: Bertolli Rustic Cut Marinara with roasted garlic and olive oil, 24-ounce jar. This one is sitting at your local Kroger right now for $3.49. A category lead at a grocery distributor told me it is getting pulled within 6 weeks as Bertolli consolidates their sauce line down to 5 core SKUs. The rustic cut variety is too niche to survive. Here's the thing most people never check: flip a jar of standard pasta sauce around and read the ingredients. Most list tomato puree first, then water. This one lists whole tomatoes first, olive oil second. That difference is the entire reason the sauce tastes like something you actually made. I had people over last month on Zero Notice heated this straight from the jar. My spouse walked in and asked how long the sauce had been simmering. It had been 4 minutes. At $3.49 for 4 servings, comparable premium sauces run $6 to $8. Once Bertolli cuts this variety, you are choosing between watery Prego or paying $9 for a small jar of Rouse. Buy 6 to 8 jars. Rotate through them. They will not last long enough to go bad. Item number two: Hunt's Fire Roasted Diced Tomatoes with Garlic, 14.5-ounce can. A purchasing agent at a regional grocery chain told me Hunt's is cutting 9 tomato SKUs this spring. Shelf space is shrinking across all canned goods categories, and retailers are keeping only their fastest moving products. The fire roasted garlic variety is too niche. It is getting axed. Here's why this specific SKU matters. I compared the ingredient labels of 6 competing brands. Most list water or tomato puree as the first ingredient. This one lists fire roasted tomatoes first. That is the difference between depth of flavor and flat one-dimensional canned tomatoes. 2 batches of chili, same recipe, same cook time. One with regular diced tomatoes, one with these. The fire roasted batch tasted like it had been going for 6 hours. A 90-cent difference in tomatoes. That is it. At $1.69 at Walmart, the store brand fire roasted equivalent costs $2.49 and does not taste the same. Organic versions push $4 a can. Buy 15 to 20 cans now. They last 3 to 5 years in a cool, dry place. Item number 3: Kraft Honey Barbecue Sauce. The 40-ounce bottle, not the 18-ounce squeeze bottle they are keeping. The big original bottle. Discontinued by end of April, a product rep confirmed Kraft is cutting large format bottles across multiple sauce flavors. The premium sauce lines have higher margins. The big familiar bottles do not fit that strategy anymore. Here is the math they are hoping you do not stop to calculate. The 40-ounce bottle costs $4.29. Once it is gone, you will need 2 32-ounce bottles for the same amount. That costs $1.50 more every 2 weeks. That is $39 extra per year. For the exact same sauce in smaller containers, the formula itself has not changed since 2003. The vinegar tang that balances the honey sweetness, the fact that it caramelizes on the grill without scorching. Once you switch to the replacement, you will feel the difference immediately. Buy 3 or 4 bottles unopened. They last 2 years, open 6 months in the fridge. Item number 4, Pace Chipotle Pineapple Salsa, 16-ounce jar. A regional sales lead confirmed Pace is cutting this and 2 other specialty salsas by late April. The core picante and chunky lines are staying. Everything else is gone. Here's what the label does not tell you, but the kitchen proves immediately. This salsa works as a cooking ingredient, not just a chip dip. The pineapple caramelizes under heat. The chipotle adds smoky complexity that usually takes 8 or 10 separate ingredients to build. Jerk-style chicken. Coat the thighs, bake them, done. That is the entire recipe. Friends asked for the method. It was $3.69 jar. When this is gone, you will be trying to rebuild that flavor profile from scratch with fresh pineapple and dried chipotle powder. It will not taste the same. Buy 4 jars. Use one now. Store the rest. Item number 5, Nestle Toll House dark chocolate morsels, the 11 to 12 ounce bag. Before you say chocolate chips or chocolate chips, stay with me for 30 seconds. This specific formulation has been 53% cocoa since 1991. A distribution coordinator with 14 years in the business told me Nestle is consolidating their baking chip line down to 3 core products. This dark variety is getting cut. The replacement bag is smaller and costs more per ounce. That cocoa percentage is not a marketing number. It is the zone where chocolate melts smooth enough for drizzling, but holds structure inside a baked cookie. I tested the replacement product. It has a waxy finish. It seized when I tried to temper it. This one melted like silk. At $3.49, this is bakery grade baking chocolate for a third of the premium price. Buy 6 to 8 bags. They last 18 months past the best buy date in a cool, dark cabinet, longer in the freezer. Item number 6, Bush's Best Home Style Chili Beans, 28-ounce can. A merchandise manager at a Southern grocery chain confirmed Bush's is cutting 4 chili bean varieties to simplify their product line. Homestyle is one of them, gone by mid-April. What makes this specific SKU worth stockpiling is what is already inside the can, pre-seasoned with chili spices, cumin, and garlic in a thick base. Legitimate chili in 20 minutes with 1 pound of ground beef and a can of diced tomatoes. No measuring, no spice hunting. Last January, during a power outage, I made this on a camping stove in 12 minutes. Hot meal. My family ate while neighbors were eating cold sandwiches. That is not a prepper fantasy. That is a Tuesday in winter, $2.39 at Walmart, 6 servings for under $3. Once this variant disappears, you are doing all the spice work yourself or settling for flat, underpowered chili. Item number 7, Duncan Hines Epic Kit Kat Brownie Mix. Duncan Hines is discontinuing their entire Epic line by May. The economics are simple. The licensing fees they pay to candy brands do not justify the sales volume. Every SKU in the Epic line is gone. Here's what most buyers miss. This is not a regular brownie mix with candy thrown in. The formula is specifically calibrated to bake at a lower temperature so the Kit Kat pieces partially melt without dissolving completely. The wafer crunch survives the oven. I tested this against a standard brownie mix with Kit Kat pieces chopped in. The standard mix turned the candy into a muddy smear. This one kept the texture. Here's something else worth knowing. Once the Epic line disappears, the only way to recreate this is to buy a boutique brownie mix at $9 a box and add your own Kit Kat. That combination will run you close to $13 for the same result you are currently getting for $2.79. That is not an exaggeration. That is the actual math. At $2.79 at Walmart, that is 16 brownies for under $3. The mix lasts 2 years sealed. Buy 4 or 5 boxes now before the entire Epic line disappears from shelves. Item number 8, Keebler Vienna Fingers Lemon Cream, not the original vanilla, the lemon variety specifically, being cut by May along with 7 other Keebler Cookie SK Us as they consolidate production lines. This one sounds trivial. It is not trivial if you drink black coffee or tea every morning. The lemon filling uses actual lemon oil, not citric acid, and lemon oil does something with a bitter drink that vanilla never does. It brightens the whole cup, cuts through the bitterness instead of adding sweetness on top of it. I discovered this by accident 6 months ago when I grabbed the wrong box and was annoyed about it until I took the first bite. My spouse thought I was overthinking cookies until guests came over and cleared an entire sleeve in 10 minutes. Here's the part that frustrates me most about this discontinuation. Vanilla Vienna Fingers are staying on shelves. They are fine, but they are interchangeable with a dozen other sandwich cookies. The lemon version is genuinely unique in that price range. Once it is gone, the closest alternative is a specialty lemon cookie from a boutique bakery brand at $8 a package for a product that currently costs $3.29. That gap is enormous. At $3.29 at Walmart, that is 40 cookies for under $4. Bakery lemon cookies run $12 a pound. This will disappear without a single viral video about it. Buy a few boxes before it does. Item number 9, Quaker Real Medley's Cherry Pistachio Oatmeal Cups. A product manager at Quaker confirmed they are discontinuing 3 Real Medley's flavors by late April to focus on their top 2 sellers. Cherry Pistachio did not make the cut. Here's what separates this from standard instant oatmeal. Regular instant oatmeal packets list sugar second. This one lists oats first, dried cherries second, sugar fourth. The pistachios add fat and protein. That combination means you are actually full until lunch instead of starving at 10:30. Hot water to the fill line, 2 minutes. Cheaper than a breakfast sandwich and genuinely filling. Eat this at your desk 5 days in a row and you will notice the difference in your energy by Wednesday. Think about what you're actually comparing here. A $2.49 cup that keeps you full for 4 hours versus a $4 breakfast sandwich that leaves you hungry before your second meeting. Multiply that across a month of workday mornings, and the difference is noticeable in both your energy and your wallet. At $2.49 at Target, stock a dozen cups. They are small, they stack easily, and they disappear quietly because no one stockpiles premium oatmeal cups. Item number 10, International Delight Caramel Macchiato Creamer, the 64-ounce bottle. A beverage distributor confirmed that International Delight is cutting 6 flavors in large format bottles by early May. They are pushing zero sugar and cold foam products at higher margins. The big familiar bottle of caramel macchiato is getting phased out. Same math as the barbecue sauce. The 64-ounce bottle costs $5.29. 2 32-ounce bottles to replace it cost $1.50 more every 2 weeks. That is $39 a year to get the same amount of the same product. And here is what nobody factors in. Right now, you grab 1 bottle per shopping trip. Once the 64 ounce is gone, you will be grabbing 2 smaller bottles. That is 2 items on your list instead of 1. 2 things to forget, 2 things to run out of at different times, 2 separate moments of realizing you're out of creamer at 6:30 in the morning. It sounds small. It is the kind of small thing that quietly makes your week worse. Most people do not think about stockpiling creamer. No one is making viral videos about it. That means you will have zero competition grabbing 3 or 4 bottles before they disappear. Unopened, they last 3 weeks. Buy now and use them immediately. Now we shift. The last 3 items on this list are different. They are not being discontinued because of corporate SKU optimization. They are disappearing because of what is happening to the world's food supply right now. And the people closest to those systems are not waiting around to see how it plays out. Item number 11, butter. There is plenty of milk. That is not the problem. The problem is that manufacturers make more money turning cream into specialty cheeses, premium ice cream, and coffee products than into butter. So when operating costs rise, butter production is the first thing that gets trimmed. A regional sales rep told me his company cut butter output by 15% this year while increasing every higher margin dairy product. This is happening across the industry simultaneously. Last winter, butter hit $7 a pound in many markets, a pound that was $3.50 in summer. Here is the piece most people do not know: butter freezes perfectly for up to a year with zero quality loss. Leave it in the original wrapper, seal it in a freezer bag, squeeze out the air, pull a stick out the night before you need it. Frozen butter and fresh butter are completely indistinguishable in cooking and baking. Think about the actual exposure here. If you bake regularly or cook with butter even 3 or 4 times a week, a $7 per pound winter price versus a $3.50 summer price is a real number. Over a full winter season, a household that uses 2 pounds a month is spending an extra $70 just because they did not buy ahead when prices were low. That money does not come back. Buy butter when it is on sale, freeze it immediately, do this consistently, and you will never pay winter prices again. Item number 12, cooking oils, all of them. This is global and it is not resolving. Ukraine and Russia supplied a massive share of the world's sunflower oil. That supply is largely gone from global markets. Manufacturers shifted demand to soybean, canola, and palm oils, but those oils were already fully committed. Now they are being asked to absorb millions of gallons of missing sunflower oil on top of their existing demand. On top of that, vegetable oils are increasingly being diverted to biodiesel production. When fuel prices rise, it becomes more profitable to burn the oil than to eat it. That is not a conspiracy theory. That is commodity economics playing out in real time on the shelves of every grocery store in the country. A buyer at a regional grocery chain described cooking oil as one of the hardest categories to keep in stock right now. Their orders are being filled on allocation. Regular vegetable oil, $3 for a large bottle, now over $8. Olive oil that was $12 is pushing $25. This is not temporary pricing. These are structural supply shifts. Here's the part that trips people up. They wait for prices to come back down before stocking up. But these prices are not coming back down. The supply conditions that created them have not changed. Every month you wait is another month of paying the higher price for the exact same bottle of oil you could have bought at half the cost a year ago. Buy 2 to 3 extra bottles per shopping trip. Keep them in a cool, dark place. Vegetable and canola oil lasts 1 to 2 years. Olive oil lasts 18 months. Rotate through your stock consistently. Item number 13, coffee. I saved this one for last. Brazil produces approximately 1/3 of the world's coffee. Last year, frost hit the Brazilian coffee belt. Frost. In a tropical growing region, it destroyed a significant portion of the harvest. Vietnam dealt with drought at the same time. Colombia had excessive rain and labor strikes. Global wholesale coffee prices have risen more than 70% in the last 18 months. A standard 12-ounce bag that cost $8 a year ago now runs $11 to $15 depending on the brand. These are not temporary conditions. Coffee plants take 3 to 4 years to mature after being damaged. The supply being harvested right now reflects what happened to those plants in previous seasons. When we are not at the end of this price cycle, we are in the middle of it. Prices at the grocery shelf typically lag wholesale prices by 6 to 12 months. What the commodity markets are showing right now has not fully hit your local store yet. Buy whole beans, store them in airtight containers away from heat and light. For longer storage, vacuum seal or use Mylar bags. Stored properly, they last years. Beyond the financial math, think about what coffee actually does in a stressful period. It is routine. It is one small piece of normal when everything around it feels unpredictable. It is the thing that makes 6 a.m. feel manageable instead of punishing. The people I speak to who understand these supply chains professionally are not waiting to see where prices land. They are buying now. So, 13 products, 10 disappearing from corporate decisions made in boardrooms with spreadsheets and margin targets, 3 disappearing because of what is happening to the world's food supply. All of them confirmed, all of them real. Here's what I want you to do right now: pick 4 items from this list, just 4. This week, when you go shopping, buy extra of those 4 things. You are not hoarding. You are buying food you were going to buy anyway at today's prices before tomorrow's prices arrive. That is not prepping. That is basic math. Drop a comment below and tell me which one you are grabbing first. And if you are not subscribed yet, do it now, because next week I'm covering the 10 name brand grocery staples that are being quietly reformulated with cheaper ingredients while keeping the exact same packaging. Same